Hello, it's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me, Nima, Akashat, Zibiri, and Topsy. How are you guys doing?
Very good, thank you. Grateful
Your
to
hair
God.
is beautiful.
Yes, it's about to go into a wig. Yay! So I'm excited. I'm happy that as much as we have a lot to complain about, we have a lot to be grateful for. The numbers are not as bad as people are expecting it to be. And to that extent, people are complying to stay at home. But people have been flooding my DMs, telling me a few things I'd like to share. So not on the government side, on human-to-human side. The bag of pure water sachets have increased from 1,000 naira for 11 bags to 1,500 naira for 11 bags a jar. What is the reason for that increase between 3 weeks? Because I have it on good authority that between 3 weeks ago, before the lockdown, we were buying 11 bags of pure water sachets for 1,000, and now it's 1,415. We can't hurt ourselves. Most of Lagos, most of Nigeria still buy boiled water or buy sachet water to drink or bottled waters. Can we not hurt ourselves before we have outbreak of cholera? Can we talk to ourselves as human beings to be kind?
Ask why. So I take pure water in my house, yes, because my children bathe with the dispensers. So we've been using that for a long time, and I started buying at 120 per bag. So the 10 bags and the 11 bags are not 11 bags. They're actually 10 bags at 1,002 now from the truck, from the buses of the producer. So I asked why, and they said they've been having difficulties accessing their bags, their products for doing the bags, and the people making the bags have suddenly, been shut down. Most of their businesses have been shut down during the break.
So those that make the nylon bags are not nylon bags.
So I thought it was a joke until one of them was even begging me for the ones I used to bag my 5 kg that I'm distributing.
Wow.
Yes.
So we need to look into it because a lot of Nigerians are consuming these sachets. So whatever, if maybe government can lift the restriction on those that produce nylon bags because it's coming down.
We'll see how that goes. I mean, it's a topic for another day. How are you doing, Nima?
I'm good. I'm thanking God. I had a bit of a conversation yesterday comparing the Ecuador video with our situation. So which one do we want exactly? We pray that we never see the worst side of this the virus in Nigeria. All this our talk of it will vanish. So may we not see it. May we find the mercy of the Lord. May we find the Lord's mercy.
I watched that video last week. I mean, on Al Jazeera. It was last week I watched it actually, and that really broke my heart because people were finding it difficult to bury their dead. The other videos are showing
bodies.
Yes,
we're not touching it. People were picking dead bodies from the front, or people just took it to the dead body outside. I saw one that they're just dragging dead bodies outside their house.
Left one in the middle of the road in a pile of death.
Now, so if you look at what we have, especially in Lagos State right now, Aton Cemetery is full. So this is very full to the brim. If you remember, most of the cemeteries we have are full. So by God's grace, we'll not get to that point where people are now looking, where do we bury? So let us take these all these precautionary measures that our government is putting.
These are not handled personally. The normal, I will bury. Traditionally Africans, we can bury at our backyard. But these are not that kind of bodies. These are infectious bodies that the government has to deal with. May we not get to that point.
May we protect ourselves.
But I have seen reports saying that the bodies are actually not infectious. There's a way they can actually go through a process where they will be safe enough for the families to take over. But either way, the point is that we don't have enough. So we don't want that. So let us be very careful of how we handle the situation and then stay at home. Let's go on a break. It's Wednesday. When we come back, we'll breeze through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, let's start with The Nation as usual. Military deployed to battle against Lagos Ogun gangs. Customs yet to hand over 110 trucks of rice, says Minister. Lawang Gbajabiamila to Buhari review SIP. COVID-19. EU gives federal government 50 million euros. CBN develops 3.5 trillion naira 3-year recovery plan. And picture here of not a death sentence. Turkish woman Havana, 107, being wheeled out of the hospital by her grandson after recovering from COVID-19. So, yes, there are some people who actually can survive this, even if they are elderly. Look, let's take a few stories in Nation. Go ahead.
The major headline?
The major headline. Go ahead, please.
So, all the responses, all the people clamoring that their lives are at risk because of the local what's happening. The government has responded. I also watched the Presidential Task Force on COVID yesterday when the IG was addressing some of those issues, saying that they've deployed a team worthy of combating.
Let me break down the team for you, Nima. Yes, you said they have sent 4 CPs, the Commissioner of Police, 1 AIG, 2 DIGs, and they're going to send thousands of MOPOL to Lagos State. If they need military,
they will join it.
They will add military to it. So let us not be afraid in Lagos State. Go ahead.
So I saw the video of the Commissioner of Police in Lagos personally visiting Agege yesterday and calming nerves. People, some overzealous citizens will say, even we too, we are ready for them, but he was there to assure the people that, we're on top of this. Right. We're on top of this. I passed under Eric Moore Bridge this morning in Costain, and I saw sanity. All the trucks parked usually under there have been handled, and so they're on top of it.
So 2 quick stories. One, the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Ajay Farouk, has spoken up concerning the directive given by the President for the National Customs Service to release all the seized trucks of rice to them to share. So usually the trucks were about 150. Ajay Farouk is saying that I've gotten 40, but I still have 110 more trucks of rice to receive from the Customs Service, and is asking that the Customs Service should release the trucks so they can share to those that are in need.
In addition to that, they've given Lagos State their own share. The one for Abuja is en route, and Bonyi, another state will be getting theirs very soon also. Moving on to the Punch, federal government plans isolation centers at borders, 4,000 tests a day. Osun Facebook user remanded for alleged falsehood. Suspected killer of woman evangelist, 18 others paraded. Commission probes failed cosmetic surgeries. Airlines bidding for evacuation of Nigerians in the US and China. Suspected herdsmen kidnap Oyo monarch's wife and daughter. Amid coronavirus pandemic, Lassa fever kills 188 Nigerians. 80,000 apply for CBN 50 billion naira COVID-19 intervention fund. And National Assembly leaders meet Buhari, seek SIP reforms. Okay, which stories are we taking here?
I want to take the cosmetic surgery quickly.
Yes.
So Mr. Babatunde Irukera, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, says that they'll be probing the activities of Med Contour, which is a cosmetic surgery hospital or company where they do cosmetic surgery, based on the reports that went viral the past week of a cosmetic surgery that went wrong. There's the other reports of some of their clients who have died as a result of that, so that they are empowered under the law to probe that, and they will be doing that. I think it's very important. We are not ripe. If we are not ripe for cosmetic surgery, we should stay away from them.
2 quick stories. Two quick stories. One, Lassa fever has killed 188 people between January and April 5th. This is released by the NCDC, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. And while we're all battling COVID-19, let's not forget that we've lost more lives in this year to Lassa fever than COVID-19, and we should also pay attention to the research going on there. But another news was the fact that a Facebook user in Osun State made a false statement on Facebook accusing the governor of Osun State of importing deliberate people to Osun in the name of that they have COVID-19. So his Facebook post was that, I told you that the governor imported COVID-19 so that he can access funds from the federal government. Can you see that they are now all negative? But according to, he didn't have any proof to back it up, and he's been taken to court. He's remanded for the next 30 days while investigations are taking place, and it's been it's emphasizing the importance of us stop sharing speculation online, stop sharing fake news online, and stop trying to incite people to violence, because that was what his post was trying to do, to make people attack the government without any proof. Let's just always share only facts.
So let's move on to
major headline.
Okay, I want to take the major headline, the 4,000. Yes, go ahead, Nima, very quickly.
So, major headline, the federal government has mandated that by all our land borders will now have isolation centers because of the communal transmission of the disease. And then there will be 4,000 tests carried out. 2,000 will be done in Lagos, 1,000 in Abuja, and 1,000 across the country in response to the COVID. So they'll be going around now testing people for COVID, just to see how we can
in addition to that, he did say they have the capacity for 1,500 as of today, but they're going to ramp that up. So hopefully they're able to do that, because we are worried that we're not getting enough people tested. Yes. So now that they're saying that the president has insisted that they do 4,000 per day, they're going to have to ramp up their efforts.
that these centers have been in existence, but they've not been able to meet up. So now they are knocking your door, asking for those who have symptoms, similar symptoms.
I'll take the story.
Moving on to Nigerian Tribune, very quickly. Nigeria heading into worst recession in over 30 years. The prophets of doom have started. IMF. Makinde flags off testing of 2,000 in Oyo. Police arrest female armorer of kidnapped gang. COVID-19 total lockdown of North will come at a very high cost, says governors. We identified 119 people with COVID-19 symptoms during house-to-house search in Lagos State. And China approves 2 coronavirus vaccines for human trial. Which stories are we taking?
Major headline.
The major headline, yes.
Yes, the IMF is projecting that, you know, we hit a recession, the worst kind of that recession, and they are processing for Nigeria was doing this based on the factors we are dealing with presently. But the CBN replied with a 3-year recovery plan for our finances, because that's what I would like to focus on. The CBN has brought out a mid-term, short-term, and long-term 3-year recovery plan in response to this.
And in addition to that, if Nigerians collectively, you see, if IMF is prophesying negativity to us and saying that we'll go into worst recession in 30 years, if we as a people agree that we're going to cut off all international market from ourselves, all the one important stuff, we say, you know, we're going to eat everything local. What we're telling the outside world is that we can actually build our own economy by ourselves.
I want to believe that the CBN
let's take it as a challenge,
actually. Homegrown solutions. Yes. I want to believe that we'll start to put in right in.
But the truth is, many of their prediction hasn't worked out. The prediction concerning recession happened, but not at the scale they were expecting it to happen back then. So we believe that this might not work out. But Lagos State has taken this complaints, everybody saying, oh, not enough testing, door to door. So in the past few days, Lagos State has said that they've gone to door, and while going door to door, they've identified 119 people with symptoms. Also, good news in that is that 9 people are about to be released, which will bring the number of people discharged to about 70. But I want to just employ our people, because these people, this 119 having symptoms, did not leave their house. They are inside their house. They did not complain officially. It's not helping us.
Let me add to that story, Tope, because in Lagos State, they actually visited 118,000 households in three or four major hotspots: Etiosa, Lagos Island, Ikeja, and Alimosho, which is a good thing. So if you not come to your house, they'll definitely come. Those are the major hotspots.
Just reel out the caveats. The governor addressing it yesterday mentioned that this team will not ask you for anything. They will not come to your house, ask you for money. They will not ask you for your bank details. They are simply there to take your instructions and see whether and screen for those who have symptoms. When you have symptoms, does not mean you have COVID. There's other infections that have similar symptoms. So please, let's remain calm, and this is not the time to panic. In addition, more good news for Lagos State. They're saying that they're going to get, the Bagada General Hospital is going to get 220 bed ICUs, which is great. They're set to feed 100,000 young people, youth, daily. And they're going to also give 250,000 on the privilege cash transfer. And those of you that took loan in Lagos State, between the, I think is March, between the last 3 months, will be given, will be allowed, your loans will be suspended.
All vehicle license, all vehicles arrested for minor offences from March 1st to March 14 will be returned to their various owners.
So that's good news for Lagosians.
Also the soup kitchen they are starting. So soup kitchens are starting across Lagos. They plan to feed 100,000 youth daily. 1 meal, because now don't start. 100,000 youth daily, 1 meal. And they are going to utilize, you know, the regular mama puts around each neighbor that you're irregular.
So if you're complaining of hunger, you shouldn't be.
So don't attack your people.
Moving on to daily, some very quickly, our last paper. Lockdown, anxiety as criminals, hoodlums terrorize Lagos and Ogun. Nigeria heading for worst recession in 30 years. We talked about that. Back to sender. What else? Let's find a story we've not taken. COVID-19, CBN unfolds policy measures to save economy and businesses. We mentioned that already. And ex-Sosoliso airline chairman dies of COVID-19 in London. That was a really sad story.
Yeah, really sad.
So, unfortunately, that's all we can take on this front page review. When we come back, we discuss with the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So Nigerians, especially those in Lagos, Ogun, and FCT, are reacting to various ways on the 2 weeks extension of the lockdown. I would like to know what your plans are for the next 2 weeks. Also, how can communities, landlords, and other various people in the community help their environment, especially in this time of insecurity, you can give us a call 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So, Tokwe, your view, what are you doing so far with this COVID-19?
I had a feeling that there was going to be an extension because I knew that the numbers were increasing. So obviously they were not going to suddenly say everybody get back to work when we could see that 2 weeks had led to us having more confirmed cases. But you see my nails. You see these nails? They were 10 fingers before.
You've been seeing it on camera. It looks horrible.
I have 5 fingers.
It looks horrible.
It looks horrible.
Yeah.
So, and I discussed with other beauty-conscious females that are saying that they can't do their hair is terrible. Their husband is saying, can I use clipper and just shave everything off because what I'm seeing does not look desirable. And I've seen men that have gone clean shave. My husband has a goatee. But usually he has to go to the barber to carve it out for him. But since there is no barber working right now, he went to the store, bought the popular shaving stick and spray, and he just gave himself a clean shave. And I'm seeing it for the first time that way in 10 years of marriage. I'm shocked. Like, what have you done to my husband? People are just finding ways to cope with this. Yeah. Yes.
Before we continue, actually, we're supposed to speak with the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, but unfortunately we're having trouble reaching her. So we'll continue to try to reach her, but in the meantime we'd like to just hear your thoughts on what you're doing so far. Let's discuss, and then later on we bring in other guests. Nima, your own thoughts.
So, okay, for the services that we cannot take, which is one of which is making hair, my daughter has always been going to the salon by herself since she was 3. And now I'm afraid to just tell her, just go, without having proper information on who is making hair. So since I cannot even get that information without offending anybody, I've been making hair. Yes, and last week when we had to redo the hair, it was not funny at all. We sit outside on the staircase in front of my house, and then she will be doing like this. Me that I've not even mastered the arts of cutting. Come and see Nima. So adjusting like that for me, and she makes my hair too. Thank you, darling. She does make my hair, and her father keeps giving us commendation that it's good, but I know we're trying.
Yeah.
It's tough for us, those kind of adjustments that we have to make, but it's sacrifices that I consider worth it any day, any time. I don't want visitors. I found it offensive by myself when I had to tell my neighbor. He was knocking on the door with a child with him. I knew he was supposed to come in. I knew it was rude of me. I just said to him, I'm not being Dubai. And as I said it, I heard myself and it did not sound right at all. Initially, I started with, can you wash your hands? There's a water bucket downstairs.
Yeah, are you accepting visitors, Muriah? Because I know your house is always, you usually have visitors. No.
Interestingly, I have to thank Yemi Legend sent me small chops.
Yemi Legend has caused problem now.
So I saw,
to go around.
So I saw somebody at my door. I was like, excuse me, from where to where? I said, please, you can't enter my house. I'm like, Yemi Legend said, okay, please wash your hands outside first. Now brought in this one. But thank you very much to Yemi Legend. But aside from personal things, I think I'm really happy about what I read in the papers today, that the government is actually going to be feeding youth, especially in different parts of 100,000 youth in the state. I think that is huge because we've been seeing a lot of unrest. I mean, people are saying people are kicking bread in the air, throwing out food, and it's important that young people now, when they start this giving out of food, let us divert their energy. Let's get those young people to go to those places to eat, because once they are fed,
it might be easier.
They'll be easier to manage.
No, there's a word they say in my place. When you don't belleful, when you don't belleful, you have time for trouble sometimes. So we need to talk to ourselves. Those mothers covering up their 14-year-old court gang leader children should have a rethink. If it requires you, let me not teach you any methods that our mothers use. But if you do whatever is necessary, because people no longer have a good name to protect. People no longer bother about good names to protect. Those days, one child in one family, the family know what to do to the child. Now that government has responded, because we talked about it here, that I would have preferred soup kitchen. Some of us said we prefer solution. We are seeing the solution. Government is taking those recommendations and they're putting them to good use. We should also support them. They've said that the women that will be cooking will be people that we know. So now they have empowered your neighbor. Please, just support that person. Let the community rally around the cooks. Let them rally around people distributing food and say, I call their names. If you have to say, you John or you Taju, Momo, go back home. And
need to be grateful.
Let's take ownership of this method and let it work. We're not animals. Let people stop projecting us.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there?
morning.
Hello.
Good morning,
Murayo. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
My name is Odia.
Odia, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ogun.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Please, I like your show, but there's something I think you people are not doing right.
Okay.
The reason is this. When the problem that has to do with people looking for voting during election. Example is Honorable Abike in Ogudu, Alakpere.
Okay.
He came to tell all those old women to vote for her during election. But when this problem of coronavirus came now, could you believe this woman will come and use the motor to pack food, and all those women are hungry? And
okay, now, it's important. Are you still there? I think we lost her. Hello? Now, the thing is that the truth is that nobody planned for COVID-19. Nobody has the right script or how to deal with COVID-19. We are just going as the demands are coming. So we can see where the government is getting confused in certain areas, and we're seeing how they're also responding to our reaction. So in that, I don't know about what's going on in Ogudu, but the point is that we must also give to the government so that they are doing everything it takes to ensure that that the food is getting around to people, because the issue we are seeing so far now is hunger.
Quick addition. Rather than complaining about what the government is not doing, can we suggest how the government can do it better? Because everybody is learning how to deal with this. So if you feel like, I've reached out to a lot of politicians I know within Lagos State, and I've heard and I've seen pictures, proof of how they are on their own trying to support what the government is doing. We've seen videos of how Princess, how Kafi, many other individuals cook a little cooler of rice in their house and dish it outside to people. We are all doing what we can. Before you point fingers, do what you can. We assume that politicians have all these things figured out and they have all the money, but they also have phone calls. I've sat down with honorables in Lagos Assembly, and within 30 minutes, they've received phone calls like 10. People saying, I have school bills, I have all of that. I'm wondering, where would you have time to even create the law?
Govern.
We all have this. We must acknowledge this. We mustn't look at them and think they are the solution. We are all the solution, and we must step up and do what everybody else is doing. Feed those you can with the little you can. If all of us add a cup, the entire country will be fed.
All right, so we'll be going on I think we have one more call. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, Morayo. Good morning.
Oh, Yakub, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
What's up?
Good morning, Sister Anima, Mama Baby. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, you see, I really want to talk about something that you people discussed earlier when you are receiving the paper about the Lagos State. You see, I give kudos to Lagos State. They always come first when it comes to this kind of situation. Look at the strategy they are about to use now. Cooking for a lot of food, a lot of people for every morning, 1 meal daily. And then another thing I like what they are doing now is this. Going out to house, I think Ogun State should learn from Lagos State and other states, because Lagos State is always thinking ahead of every state in this country, because I really love what they are doing now. So, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say in essence is that I would like Ogun State to do the same thing. They should be trying to go out to house. So that some people that have a little symptom about this kind of a thing, whether it's a malaria, whether it's a COVID, so that they can be able to detect it early. Not that they'll be telling us they don't have enough test kits and all that. Thanks and God. Keep it.
Thank you very much. So, just like you said, I mean, I think Tokwe also mentioned it earlier, Nigerians must come forward, you know, and we don't have that many test kits. So if you have symptoms, then please come forward for proper testing. But the way, as the governor has said, I think it was also the Commissioner for Health that said that there were certain hotspots that they looked at. So they saw, based on where the patients were coming from, they were able to see that Alimosho, Ikeja, Lagos Island, and Etiosa were the hotspots. And it was those communities that they went house to house, door to door, and they were able to reach 118,000, which is a good thing. So we're hoping that other states can also emulate that, because the president has said, you must test 4,000 every day. Doesn't mean that they're going to use test kits,
like
but to ensure.
Contact tracing.
Yes.
So if we found one person has COVID in Etiosa, then we will find that person's street and visit the entire street and see how many people. And I think it's good and commendable.
We have to go on a break. We're still trying to reach the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, because we want to ask concerning the palliatives from the federal government, how it's getting around, especially now we're told that the rice, she's in receipt of 40 trucks of rice, how distributed, and other plans for palliatives across the country. So hopefully we can reach her after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So Nigerians and the rest of the world are in panic mode at the moment, wondering what will happen to them, their career, the businesses, finances after COVID-19. Our guest today will be enlightening us on what exactly we can do and how do you position yourself after the virus. Joining us via phone is a representative of the Rising Leaders Summit, Adebola Kupoluyi. Good morning, Adebola. Are you there? Hello, Adebola.
Good morning. I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, very good. So, yeah, everybody is, right now, we're home, we're spending, depleting our savings, you know, because your family is consuming food, and you're continually looking at your savings account like, okay, what's going to happen? You're not sure what's going to happen to your company when you resume. Could you give us an idea of how to manage our resources at this time? Okay,
thank you once again for having me. And let me say that I'm a true fan.
Thank you.
I love banters, you ladies throw around. It's such a refreshing time listening to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'll just quickly introduce the organization and what we do. Like you said, my name is Debola Kupoluyi, and I am the current country ambassador Nigeria for the Rights and Lead Women Netherlands. We're an organization from the Netherlands, and what we do is that we share knowledge, education, and we do some advocacy to connect leaders, emerging leaders, NGOs, and change makers. So, I've been listening to you all day, and the truth of the matter is, these are uncertain times. Even the government does not really know what to do. Like you said, we just, when everything happens, we decide on what to do. Nobody knew this was going to happen, and nobody knew what would happen after. So we thought to ourselves that as an organization, what can we do to support? So we are organizing an event called the Virtual Roundtable Discussion on COVID-19, titled The Myths, the Impact, and the Way Forward in Nigeria. So the reason I introduced us first is the summit that we're organizing, the webinar, would actually address a lot of these concerns around what is the impact of COVID-19 on food security, how do we manage information right now. You would agree with me that a lot of information going out now is even causing more harm than the COVID-19 itself. People are not verifying information, and they are just, disseminating it accordingly. So we're going to address things like that at the event.
Okay. So the beauty of our show is that even those that don't have access to webinars or online events can watch the show. And while we have you, can you share a few of the key things that can help people better prepare post-COVID with us right now, live right now, things that people can do, how they can prepare themselves, what courses, what book can they read, what's the psychological state of mind that is best for them to be in, to be resourceful even after COVID?
Oh, okay, great. So the first thing for me that I would say is that keep your mind at rest. Don't panic, keep your mind at rest. There are some banters going on social media saying, oh, if you have not done this, done that, created a new business during COVID, you are as good as maybe, useless. And then people came back and said, first, our mental health needs to even be in check for us to survive after COVID. So the first thing is let's take away the fear, let's put our mind at rest. Number two, a lot of entrepreneurs today that haven't, really gone into e-commerce are probably grounded at home. This is a good time to start collaborating. We need to start, the COVID-19 has now made the world a global village. It has emphasized the fact that we are now a global village. So it's important that we use the tools that we have, the technology tools that we have right now to collaborate.
Right.
So if you were,
all right.
So Adebola, the IMF, financial experts around the world are projecting that 20 million jobs will be lost already after this lockdown that we are going through now around the world, and especially in Nigeria. 20 million of our 200 million population would be out of jobs. What would you advise? How would you advise SMEs? Because largely these are people employed by SMEs. How do you advise them to recover from this break that they have? What finances would you advise that they access Is it maybe the 50 billion intervention by the CBN or other interventions that around the world that they can access to quickly get back on their feet so that we can get our people employed again?
Thank you for that question, Halima. So for me, there are so many interventions going on right now. So like you said, you mentioned the CBN intervention. I also believe that a lot of banks, financial institutions in Nigeria today are not just sitting down. They are looking for ways to ensure that they bring in some palliative products that can support us during this crisis season. So I'd advise that people put their ears to the ground. Whatever banks are bringing out, let us try to plug in. Even beyond financial institutions, there are also private investors, you know, that would like to invest in businesses, especially in a time as this. So it's for entrepreneurs to put their ears to the ground, not be so rigid in terms of this is how my business used to be and this is what I would stay with. We now need to, like I mentioned earlier, collaborate with people. Look for ways to, you know, reduce your costs. Look for ways to use technology to enhance what you're currently doing physically. I think those things will help.
Thank you so much. I know you're not an economic expert, but I'd just like to hear your thoughts on this. I'd just like to bounce this off you. Internationally, people are projecting that it will take months, even up to a year, for borders to be properly open because people have locked down. Economies might take months to restart. And we're an import-based economy. Lots of people are importing their goods from all over the world. We might have stocks. I mean, we already have stocked up right now, but it will run out at some point. In your view, what do you think we can do to begin to kickstart our economy within? I mean, just your own thoughts.
Fantastic question. And this is something we've always all talked about, but we've never really paid attention to it. I think it's go back to the basics. Agriculture, for example. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they mentioned that Africa has over 60% of the viable land in the world for agriculture. So I would say, if we cannot import, if borders are closed like we all know, then we need to go back to the basics. So go back to farming. Not all of us will farm, but some of us can invest in farming. Some of us can invest in agrotech. Put money in farming, and then we can all, you know, make some money from that and also ensure that our economy continues accordingly.
Right. Thank you. Final questions.
So, I have two quick. I have two quick things to say. One, many people right now are falling for scams. There are many people that are doing, bring in 10,000 naira, we'll give you 20. I don't want to call the names of what they're doing, but they are like Ponzi schemes ongoing right now. We'd like you to dispel and give hope to people. Number one. Number two, I read somewhere online, and I really want to make this session as practical as possible for people to be able to apply the things they hear on the show, in that business owners should send mails to their banks to appeal for extension on their loans.
Or they should even reconstruct their loans.
Or reconstruct their loans to give room for this period. Also, so that some business owners should send messages to their landlords to change how they will pay the rent to maybe remove these months where we are not operating our business. How do you think people can do this better, and how would you advise us to go about it?
Thank you for that question. So I would address the first one on information security. The rate of fraud is now alarming because people are worried. The cash at hand, maybe I should, like you said, invest this and make a 1,000% profit. So just stay calm. Cash at hand is better than cash that you would lose. Even if you are going to invest in things that are viable and sustainable that we've always known. Not that somebody brings a new eye-palpitating idea and you just put your money into it. And then we need to also be careful. Banks have been sensitizing us. We will not send email with this, we will not send email with that. People have been sending emails asking people to change their ATM passwords and the like. So I would say, when you get such information, before you jump at it, please verify from your financial institution. Before you jump at any link, which is one of the problems, again, we are so quick to read information that we are careless. Before you jump at opening any link that somebody has said is talking about COVID or some conspiracy theory going around, ask yourself, do I really need to open this link? Do I need to even forward it to somebody else so that you can guard your assets as well?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. No, sorry to cut you off. I thought you rounded up, but thank you so much, Adebola, for joining us. We're speaking with the Rising Leaders Summit. She's Representative Adebola Kupoluyi on the phone with us. Right, so we're going to go on a break now. We're still trying to reach the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Service and Disaster Control because we really need to find out what the measures they're putting in place to ensure that the palliative from the federal government gets around to different states. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So I've been told that we're unable to get the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs. She's not been able to pick so far, but we'll keep trying and try to see if we can get her before the end of the show. But now we're able to get the Special Advisor on Media to Ogun State Governor, Honorable Remi Hassan. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good to have you on the show. So I'm told you have 9 confirmed cases in Ogun State.
Yeah, but of those 9, the number of active cases are just about 3 or 4.
Great.
Okay.
Now, we know that the president has said that we need to ramp up all the testing. What is your government doing to ensure that testing is going around across the state, like Lagos State has been doing so far?
There are 2 things that we have done. We've taken delivery of our own molecular lab, which will go into operations in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
That's one. We've also taken delivery of mobile testing van that will be deployed to the border towns that we share with Lagos, because we know that these are places that are more vulnerable than the hinterland in Ogun State.
Right.
And our target at this early stage is to have 300 a day, but we are looking up to getting up to 1,000 per day going forward.
Okay.
Okay, so how many, can you confirm the number of total testing that has been done in order to assure people that they wouldn't feel there's a community spread within your within Ogun State, because we know that Ogun borders a few countries and people are worried that it might be imported through those areas. So how many people have been tested totally within the state before we arrive at the 9 confirmed numbers?
Before we get to this level of doing tests within the state, most of the samples that we got from suspected cases were taken to Lagos. About 300 of them so far. And that is the more reason why we want to localize the test so that more people can be brought into the net. And at the end of the day, we'll be able to know what is the prevalence of COVID-19 in Ogun State. So we've been tested thus far in Lagos. It is now we want to begin the testing within Ogun.
Right.
Okay, so well done on the biological facility to test. I saw the launching. I wonder when the governor mentioned that the 3 cases that were positive in the active cases that you had in Ogun State were were suspected to be community transmission. He did a press briefing where I saw that. What are you doing presently to ensure that that kind of transmission is seriously curbed? And I mean, what are you doing to ensure that there's tracing of those people who came in contact with them who have no travel history?
Contact tracing is one thing that we haven't joked with as a state. And for these cases that have no travel history, though it brings quite a lot more challenges to the contact tracing that we'll do, but then it still simply means that we have to scale up in the circumstance. And that is why the communities where these ones have been discovered are part of the targets that we have for the mobile testing van that will be going around, so that we will be sure that the prevalence of the virus in such communities is such that is brought into the picture of the national statistics. That is one of the things that we're doing.
All right, let's talk about insecurity for a moment. A lot of people complained last weekend that certain areas, various areas within Ogun State were unbearable for lots of citizens. And we had the Commissioner for Police in Ogun State come to allay the fears of citizens. But we still got lots of calls from text messages from people saying that there is a lot of unrest going on in that state. Could you give us an update so far? We know the president has sent in the military, no, not military, the AIG, CPs and all that. But what's the update concerning insecurity in your state?
Thank you very much. We are not taking anything for granted concerning the issue of security. We understand that in a situation like this, where there seems to be a lot of inactivity in certain places, people would take advantage of that to want to perpetrate crime. And more so, the various security agencies are saddled with the responsibilities of ensuring that they enforce the lockdown. It is not out of place that you will have some elements of criminal tendencies in certain areas. Yes, there have been some calls asking that we intervene. The police have done the needful. We also want to point out here that some of such calls came more like that of an alarmist, because what actually was the issue is not as high as they have cried out. But then we understand when people are confined to one single location, which is not what their daily routine has been, whatever flies around them is suspected in the circumstance. Right. The state is also not taking away the aspect of counseling those who may need to be talked to in the circumstance. And that is why we have raised a counseling team. It is more like a telemedicine approach. There are numbers to call. When you call, someone is there to talk to you. Whatever your fears are will be allayed in the circumstance.
Fantastic.
So that there will be a little reduction in the way that we raise alarm.
Right.
But then the security agencies are up to it, and we've not had any reason to doubt their capacity.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. We appreciate your input. We'll be speaking with the Special Advisor on Media to Ogun State Governor Honorable Remi Hassan. We're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on the show is the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadiya Umar Farouk. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good to have you on. So my very first question, we have to go straight into it because we've run out of time. My first question to you, that there were allegations that the money shared in the North did not reach the South for the COVID-19 relief. Could you please clear the air on that?
Well, let me start by telling you that this money that is being speculated as being shared is a program that has been in existence since 2016. It's not a COVID-19 money sharing stuff. It is an existing program called the Conditional Cash Transfer under the Social Investment Program. And following Mr. President's directive that we should give 2 months advance to these beneficiaries, that was what I did. That was the directive I carried out.
But is it getting to the South?
It's getting all first. I was in the South myself. I was in the Southeast precisely. I was in Anambra State and Imo State to flag up the program. It's all over the country.
Okay, so coming to the COVID-19 palliatives, we've seen many state governors step up and we've seen pictures of what they've done. But we also know that there is budgets to carry out federal level palliatives. Can you please explain to Nigerians who are worried about the process? How exactly is your ministry distributing palliatives to Nigerians generally?
Well, up to now, I've not received any budget for that. What Mr. President directed was that the general reserve of the country should be handed over to us by the Ministry of Agri and General Grains Reserve. And we've been given 70,000 metric tons of grain. And Mr. President also directed the Nigerian Customs Service to give us the cheese rice in their cost. This was what was given to the ministry, and we had immediately started deploying this food relief to the affected stations and then other countries.
So you're saying you haven't gotten money from the federal government to facilitate these palliatives?
Well, we're still waiting for that, for the time being, this is what we are doing. We have been given the grains to deploy about 2, and we have done that.
Okay, so, okay, ma'am. Initially, for the first 2 weeks, 3 states were shut down: Lagos, Ogun, and the FCT. What exactly is the relief package for those states where there is a lockdown and their citizens are out of their basic employment for those of them who live daily? Let me have a proper breakdown of what you're doing to give palliatives to citizens of those states, ma'am?
Well, we have a national emergency response plan on ground, which is charged with the responsibility of doing this distribution. It is a functional group named called the Group of Market Logistics and Security. Immediately that directive was given, we had deployed this food relief to these two affected states and FCC. FCC were waiting for the last type of step to be deployed. Right. But for Lagos Ogun State, I can tell you that all that is due to them has been given to the state government.
Right. Now, I read in the papers yesterday that the chairman of Nigerian Government Fund was asking that all the palliatives be handed over to the governors of the states for them to distribute. Is that being carried out, or are you still going to use your own ministry resources to ensure that this gets to the local government level?
Well, we are working out on those modalities. And for now, I have told you that we have a structure on ground that is saddled with that responsibility. And this structure comprises of all the critical stakeholders that are involved in this disaster response. This is what we are working with. We are still in discussions with the chairman of Nigerian Government Fund.
Okay, Ma, what are you putting in place to prevent leakages? Because it's possible that, it's impossible that you come and do this by yourself across all the states. What are you putting in place to ensure that, corruption and leakages where these things will be diverted are clogged or curbed?
That is why we have the security complexes of this distribution pattern. So relief package for targeted locations are being escorted. By the security apparatus of the country. So we have another team of monitoring and evaluation down to the local government levels that will monitor this activity.
I worry because I know there's a lockdown. Many ministries are not working, are not functional. Are you on ground? Because sometimes when we depend a lot on reports from team members, sometimes it doesn't, those palliatives don't get to where we expect them to get to. So my question to you, madam, is that are you on ground or are you still dependent on the information you're being given from your own ministry?
Well, no, you just mentioned that I can't be everywhere, but we have people on the ground that are monitoring these things, and it's not everybody that is locked down. Right. We have essential staff that are still working. Right. It will still come out.
So the papers have the fact that you've been given 40 truckload of rice. And we want you to explain how you've shared it and how do you intend to get this, are you handing it over to the state governors and leaving it? Because I know that they say rice will be taken to Ebonyi and Imo, and I didn't see, and then 20 trucks to Lagos. Are you giving the rice to the government, the governor, to share it? Or do you intend to use your ministry apparatus to share it to people that are needy? Two is the fact that Lagos and Ogun were not captured in the original SIP beneficiaries because that wasn't the core areas. And now I hear you are registering people afresh within Ogun State and Lagos. How can people who want to register to become beneficiaries of the conditional cash transfer register now? So those are the two questions, ma'am.
Many questions. Let me answer one because I didn't get the other one. I told you that this is a structure that we're using, including the state government down to the local government. It's not just my ministry staff that are doing this thing. Even security agencies, civil defense, the police, the SSS, the ministry, and then ICPC. Everybody is involved in this distribution. And you cannot go to a state without informing the state government. It's just not possible, even if you are going to do it. So state government is involved it's part of the structure that we have on ground that we're using.
We commend you, ma.
On the issue of the SIPs and conditional cash transfer, yes, unfortunately, Lagos and Ogun have not enrolled into the program. But with this COVID-19 now, I had to go and discuss with the state government. There were issues before, and now we have resolved those issues, and our team have moved into these areas to start training the personnel that will go and do this data capturing. Right. For them, we hope that by the next round payment, Ogun and Lagos would have been enrolled.
We must commend you, ma. Most of those affected by the lockdown also are Empower workers that you know, were under your Empower scheme. A lot of reports are flying around that they've not been paid for March, for some even February. What are you doing to look into that, ma?
For February, it's not too much. Yes, we have some bureaucratic issues around. I know that I have approved payment about 2.5 weeks ago. But I assure you that before the end of this week, I was informed that payment has already started yesterday.
Now, the closed borders obviously would affect food and resources getting to the IDP camps. What are you doing to ensure? We know that the presidency had commissioned pilots to get into them. But what are you doing to ensure that all the IDP camps are properly well fed at this time?
The IDP camps are our first priority. Immediately there was this a lockdown, we have deployed this food relief, 2-month food relief to this official IDP camp. Right. And for the other IDP camps, we are also taking this intervention. Today we have started, so they are our priority and we have already carried out.
Just to go back to the Empower question, so you're telling us that by March, hopefully before the end of April, they'll be paid their March salary, because many people have called us on this Empower issue. Just to clarify.
Some people have started seeing alert. If not before the end of the week, everyone will be paid.
Fantastic. Yes, talk about any questions. Okay.
So I wanted to quickly just throw in this one. Most of what you've explained to us have been prior to COVID-19, but upon COVID-19, the president has locked down 3 states for 2 weeks now. And while we understand that maybe we didn't plan for this, it happened on us, what can you say categorically will be done to alleviate the hardship people are having to face in Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja? What would your ministry do specifically to alleviate that hardship they are going through now?
That's what I said. All the things I said, they are not prior to COVID-19. I've told you that we were directed by the president and we had carried out that directive. So I don't know which one you're talking about. COVID-19. All the issues I discussed here are
all for COVID-19.
Mainly COVID-19, except for the conditional cash transfer, which partially is also COVID-19 because of the 2 months advance by Mr. President directed.
Right.
Which is beneficiary.
Okay. Ma, again, you said that, you know, you partner with state governments and local governments when you're distributing palliatives in states. And I want to understand, is it in terms of cash or food? Number 2 is that what are you doing to get reports? Have you created a measure to get reports of those possible complaints that, you know, that might arise from mismanagement or, you know, corruption in any of the states in question?
We have a grievance address mechanism in place that if people are not satisfied with what is happening, they report to us. And it's not cash. Our partnership with the state, I told you, it's a structure. It's a structure that is on ground on emergency response plan. So whatever we are taking to them is in kind, really, and we do it together.
Okay, so finally, what other units are you partnering with? Because this is a hard work. I mean, I must honestly admit that this is not going to be easy, especially because a lot is dependent on you, your ministry, to ensuring that Nigerians are well fed and okay at this time. What other ministries are you partnering with to help? You've told us the civil defense, the military and all that. But the other ministries, the health ministry, helping you out in any way to support your initiatives and your work?
Well, all these civil defense we are talking about, they are under ministries. And the composition of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 clearly tells it. So all those ministers that are on board or in that task force, we partner with them.
All right. Thank you very much. So some people, now we've had issues where palliatives have been hijacked by different states, by certain people. I would like to ask you the final question. Is it possible that when the palliatives are finally ready, maybe it's a bag of rice, or 1 bag of beans, or whatever it is, can we get a picture of what it looks like? So when people throw these things out, we have an idea exactly what the government gave us, because sometimes we hear different stories. Oh, I got 1 cup of rice. Oh, I got 1 cup of beans. Is it possible for your ministry to make known to the public what exactly is being given so we know and can verify that indeed certain families are getting these palliatives?
I can only speak for the federal government palliatives. And what we have in that package is 25 kg of beans, 25 kg of rice, 25 kg of maize, 25 kg of sorghum or millet, as the case may be, and 25 kg of gari. This is the federal government package that goes to the household.
Wow. How many households so far has it reached?
On the street that will give this thing. We have identified poor and vulnerable households that will take these items to. But unfortunately, we had issues with Lagos yesterday. I'm sure you are aware. You know, there were protests. Our staff were almost mobbed, and then we had to stop and then go back and drawing board and see how we're going to.
Based on your data, ma, and your figures, what number are you targeting in each state? Or in Lagos, for instance?
25% of the population of this affected state.
25%?
Yes.
25%
of 20 million
of each state.
What's the number that has been packed to come to Lagos?
Oh, we lost that call. Okay, so at least the good thing is that we
packed to come to Lagos.
Oh, we lost that call. Okay, so at least the good thing is that we do have palliatives coming in from the federal government. 25 bags, 25 kg rice, gari, beans. That's commendable compared to what we've seen so far, and quite a few other things. So what we wanted to confirm is how many people are getting it per state and where and when they're going to get it, so we can actually help track it. But thank you very much to the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. That was Hajia Sadiya Umar Farouk on the show with us.
And we're really sorry about the staff of our ministry that got mobbed yesterday. I want to appeal to Lagosians. These amenities, these palliatives that are coming to you, can we be orderly? Can we queue up? Can we not fight and beat those who are working, Nigerians like us that are bringing these palliatives to us? Because she said yesterday they couldn't distribute because of what happened. And it's because people like us are on the streets and fighting those that are working for the government, trying to deliver the palliatives so that we can get what we want. We need to work together.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on the show. Can we have any more tweets? Let's run up with some tweets.
Oh, there are lots of tweets.
Go ahead, please. Sokwe.
Okay.
So Adebayo says that, let me quickly get it out.
Imonoha Enekana says, this is the ample time to look into the true numbers of our population. This is pivotal for ministries of national planning and budget and Population Commission to work together to draw up a roadmap to reevaluate and appropriate palliatives for situations as this.
So Mr. Adebayo says, we call on the government to provide everything for us, but yet contributes little or nothing to the pulse of the state. Are we not part of the problem? We can't always point fingers without looking at ourselves. As stakeholders, we are all in this together. He also mentioned our mental state will not be the same, and the way we view small things in life will be impacted. We will learn more to appreciate our ability to move about at will, eat at our convenience, and do things we love when we choose.
Right.
Okay, those asking for empower, about 3 of them, let me just summarize with this particular one. Ismail Yusuf says, please, in case you reach her, ask why the empower volunteers have not been paid for the month. And she's explained that they've been paid for February and March. They've commenced payment for March. I think we should be a bit patient with the system.
Okay, that's all we can take on the show. Thanks for joining us. Tomorrow is another day. Have a fabulous day. Bye-bye for now.